back to my channel. I realise I do quite a few videos at the moment. I kind of go through spells. Sometimes I don't make them for a while, and then other weeks, for some reason, I've just got a lot to say, and this is this week. But I just wanted to talk to you about something else that I'm really looking forward to at the moment. There aren't many things I'm looking forward to because I'm stuck at home with the whole COVID situation, and I'm trying my hardest to stay sane. It's very difficult because of my OCD and everything, not being able to go out properly. So you have to find ways to stay sane. But anyway, one thing, ever since I was a little girl, I've always had a really strong desire, which has never left me. I'm 34 years old now, 35 this year, can't believe that, getting old. But yeah, ever since I was a little girl, I've always really, really wanted a lifelike doll. Like, you know, like one of those dolls that actually looks real. And I've always had this really strong desire for one. But when I was younger, I wasn't allowed one of these dolls because my mum didn't really like dolls much, and also she was saying, no, you know, I'm not getting you one of those. I did have dolls when I was a kid. I had several dolls, and I've always liked dolls. My mum hated them, but I've always liked dolls. I've always had fairly, I guess you could call them feminine interests. I've always loved dolls and girly stuff, but yeah, my mum never liked dolls. So the dolls I did have were kind of gifted to me or given to me by like relatives. Like my granny gave me loads of dolls. My mum. I don't think my mum actually ever really bought me any dolls. All the dolls I had as a kid came from my grandparents. So I had, and I miss those dolls, and they were thrown away, and I don't know why they were thrown away. I think my mum did eventually throw them away because, I don't know, they were getting dirty, and one of them I kind of pulled her hair out and kind of, you know, because I was playing with her hair, and I kind of probably damaged the doll a bit, and it was getting rather dirty, and things like that. But yeah, I had several dolls. I can actually tell you their names. I had a doll called Sarah. Sarah was the doll I had since I was like about 2 years old, which I was given by my grandmother, and she was my favourite doll. And I had Sarah. I think my mum finally threw her away. And at the time when my mum threw her away, I wasn't too fussed because I'd kind of grown out of her. But now as an adult, I kind of wish she hadn't, because I kind of still want that doll, and it's kind of nostalgic, and now I can never see that doll again, and it's kind of like a kind of, I don't know, a lost kind of what's the word, link, I guess, to my earlier younger self. I wish I could still have that doll, but my mum got rid of it because it was quite dirty, and it had been everywhere with me, and I think she must have got rid of it when I was maybe about 13 or something, by which point I kind of moved on from it. But like I say, now I sort of wish she hadn't. She was called Sarah. She was quite a small doll and had kind of yellowy hair, kind of blonde hair. I think it's originally, when I first had her, it was originally quite bright yellow hair, but then later on it became a kind of, as she got a bit dirty, it kind of lost some of its colour. And she came with a little dress, a kind of Velcro dress, but I think the dress got lost. So again, it was just her padded body. You could put her thumb in her mouth and things. She had blue eyes. I had a thing about doll's eyes. I don't know what it is, because I'm not really, you know, with human eyes it's a different matter, but for some reason I really like doll eyes, and I still do. I don't know what it is. Some people find doll eyes creepy, but I actually really like doll eyes. So yeah, Sarah, she had like with the blue eyes, like really deep blue eyes. I also had a doll called Sophie, who again must have been given to me by a relative. I think my grandmother must have given it when I was fairly young. She had yellow hair, kind of in bunchies, I think, if I remember correctly. And then I had another doll called Zoe, who was a Swiss doll. She had hair in plaits. Her hair came in 2 plaits, and she wore a sort of tartan dress. But I undid her plaits, which I don't think you were supposed to. And that kind of, because like her hair was on either side, it then meant, and when I undid the plaits, it was like she had a big bit of a bare plastic bit on her head, and it was just like her hair was like falling down on either side, which made it look a bit weird, but I just liked playing with her hair. And I had a doll called Amy, who was, I think it was a rag doll, like a soft doll. And I had 2 other dolls, which actually I do still have, which are both rag dolls, and I still got those ones on display. So yeah, so I had a few. Oh, and I also had a baby doll as well, but it wasn't a lifelike one, it was just a really small one didn't look lifelike at all, and it wasn't lifelike proportions or anything. And I preferred dolls. Funny enough, I preferred dolls to cuddly animals as a kid. Like, my brother really liked cuddly animals, like teddy bears and things like that. But when I was a kid, I did have teddy bears and I did have cuddly animals. But and I did play with those as well, and had like teddy bear tea parties and stuff with my brother, because I had a tea set, like a doll size tea set. But I actually prefer playing with dolls mostly, and I was more into dolls as a rule. And I still am. I like teddy bears, but I am more into dolls. And so anyway, back to the subject. So ever since I was a child, I really wanted a lifelike doll. I had dolls, as I've just talked about, but they weren't like lifelike. I've always wanted a real lifelike baby doll. And finally I'm getting one. Because you know what, I found one off Amazon, and it's cheap. It's the cheapest one you can get. It's only like £30 or so. It's a REBORN doll, but it's like a cheap one. It's because like really expensive ones I can't afford. And so I guess it's the cheapest one. And it's not, although it is REBORN, so in other words, it is basically the size of a newborn baby, so it's like 50 centimetres, and it kind of looks more lifelike than your average kind of doll. It's not like really, really lifelike. It's not like one of those ones that are like, like really, really expensive ones. And oh my god, some are so expensive. Like way outside my budget, and also, I wouldn't want to spend that amount of money. I guess it's fairly expensive even for me, but I just had to get it because I've been waiting so long, and I just can't resist anymore. And I'm like, I've wanted one of these ever since I was a kid, so I just thought, why not? When life is so crap at the moment, I need something to feel a bit happy, and I just really want to be able to dress her up and stuff, and like play dress up, because I'm still basically a little girl in a 34-year-old. I haven't really grown up. I still have the same desires as I had when I was a kid, just that now I can actually actualise them. And my dad, when I told my dad I was getting a doll, he was like, he doesn't approve. He's like, he says they're really ugly and plasticky, and he doesn't like them, which is fair enough. Not everyone likes dolls. He thinks they're creepy, but it's not his decision, it's my decision, and it's what makes me happy at the end of the day. And I wasn't allowed one of these when I was a kid, and now I'm finally getting one, so it makes me happy. That's the most important thing. And I can't, and the other thing is, when I told someone at the group I go to that I was getting a REBORN doll, although this is advertised as REBORN, by the way, it's not like as lifelike as they come, but that doesn't bother me. What I really want is just a doll that's the size of a newborn baby, that feels like a newborn baby, and that I can put into newborn baby clothes, because you can get, like, it actually will wear newborn baby clothes, and it kind of satisfies, I guess, a kind of artistic instinct in me of like dressing things up and like being a bit creative and kind of like, and also I'm learning how to crochet, so I can like crochet like little baby clothes for it and stuff. But when I mentioned this, I'm not. Oh, and by the way, some women who get REBORN dolls, like literally look after them like proper babies. That isn't my intention at all. This doll is for display purposes and just to go, I can like play dress up, basically. And because I have a bit of an obsession with baby clothes. Don't ask me why. I have talked about this in another video, by the way, about my earlier obsession in babies. So it's not a complete surprise that I've always had a bit of a. Don't ask me why. A bit of an interest in like baby clothes and baby stuff. I don't know why, don't ask me. But when I mentioned this at a group I go to, someone said, he said, you're getting maternal. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I've got no desire whatsoever to have my own kids. I'm never going to have my own kids. The fact I'm not going to have kids doesn't bother me. I've got no desire at all to have a baby. Like, literally no desire. When I was younger, obviously when I was like younger, I thought, maybe one day I'll have kids, blah, blah, blah. But, that's because I didn't realise like what they entailed and everything. And I think most children say that. I was like, I'm going to have 4 kids, and I was like, but basically I have got no desire whatsoever to have kids. I'm not maternal in any shape or form, so it's got nothing to do. I think there's a little bit of a misconception about women who want dolls, that somehow they're like maternal or something, like are wanting to have their own kids. And for some women, that might be the case, and I know that some women get REBORN dolls and stuff because they can't have their own kids, or because like maybe they've had a miscarriage or something and it's like a substitute. But for me, I'm not at all maternal. I've got no desire to have kids on my own. which is just as well because I can't have them anyway because of my disabilities, and it would be incredibly selfish if I had the kids because I can't even look after myself half the time, let alone look after, I just, that would be the most selfish thing on earth because I wouldn't be able to give it a happy childhood, it just wouldn't have a happy life really because I'm so limited and I can't stand noise, got sensory issues, a mess, I like my own freedom too much. I wouldn't be able to give up. I'm too egocentric. I wouldn't be able to give up my own needs to satisfy a child. It would be the most selfish thing on earth if I were to have kids. So thankfully, I don't have the desire to have one because it wouldn't work anyway. So it's just as well I don't have desire because otherwise that would make me unhappy. It doesn't make me unhappy because I don't want kids and I'm not maternal. And there's always this assumption in society that a woman should have kids, and if she doesn't have kids, she's something lacking. That's a load of patriarchal bull because there's so many other ways you can live a fulfilling life than having kids. Like, kids aren't the be all and end all. Aside from the fact the world's going to pot and I don't want to have a responsibility or worry about what will happen in the future if I were to, so it's not happening. So a doll is not a substitute kid for me. It's not because I'm feeling maternal, it's simply because I like dolls. And I do like newborn baby clothes, but that's not because I want a baby, it's not because I have got any maternal instinct whatsoever, it's just I think they're cute, basically. I just think they're cute, and it satisfies a girlish desire for me to dress things up and to play role play. It's got nothing to do with me wanting to have a kid on my own at all. So I just wanted to clear that one up. But I'm really, really very much looking forward to getting this doll. It's actually quite exciting because it is lifelike, and they are really big as well. And it already comes in really nice clothes. It's got good reviews and stuff. The reviews were mixed, by the way, and it took me quite a while to, because I like to read all the reviews and analyse things before I make a decision. But it was the cheapest one on the market, and I don't want to pay loads of money just for a doll. This doll is suitable for kids age 3 and over, but I would say that I wouldn't actually give this to a kid because I'd be worried. I wouldn't give a doll like that to a kid personally. But also it's advertised as being suitable for adult collectors as well, so it's kind of, a bit of adult collectors, and I'm only getting one doll, by the way. I'm not about to go and collect loads of dolls, by the way, either. I only want one doll. One doll is good enough for me, which is just as well, because they're not cheap. This is just a one-off purchase. I just really want this doll because I just really want to play dress up and stuff like that, so I'm actually very, very excited. Just going to move over to video number 2 now, just carry on. So moving over to video number 2.